And joining me now is David Ritter with AT&T. David, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Christy.
So what branch of the military did you serve in?
I served in the Air Force for 12 years, from 1983 through 1996.
So tell me a little bit about what your transition was like, making the transition from the military back into civilian life.
Absolutely. Actually, I had served in civilian life before I went in the military. I was unemployed at the time. I was laid off from an oil field job. And I signed up for 4 years in the military and ended up spending 12 years in there. But when I came back out, one of the biggest things that was very helpful was the military had set up transition programs to help translate my skills from the military, and I got a great deal of leadership experience, technical training. I went 2 years for a full year's master's degree program out in Colorado. So with that kind of experience behind me, it was actually very helpful to translate the military jargon, the military experience into the civilian workforce, and we had a whole transition program that the Air Force had set up for that. And AT&T, on its side, also brought us in as military hires.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about the initiatives that the AT&T Veterans National Board is doing right now?
Absolutely. ATT Veterans is an employee resource group formed from within AT&T of interested volunteers. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization with people who have a common interest in supporting veterans. We have several different ERGs throughout the company of AT&T, but AT&T Veterans is really focused on servicing those veterans, supporting them through programs like the Welcome Wagon coming home, packages for overseas soldiers deployed, supporting our own. And we're not all veterans. We actually have about 1/3 to 1/4 of AT&T veterans are civilian people who have a connection or an interest in helping out with programs that AT&T sponsors through AT&T Veterans.
Do you find that other companies are trying to emulate that, or at least are asking and saying, how are you doing this, and how can we set up something like
Funny
this?
you should ask that. We just had a meeting the other day with some of our executive officers, and they're looking at other companies are trying to connect us at the highest level with sponsorships like that other companies are trying to duplicate what was a grassroots effort that came up, but now has our executive support because we value that. If you don't have that kind of top-down approach from that support, it really just becomes another service organization. But what we find is these companies are really eager to help get veterans hired. So they are actually reaching out to us. We have a very successful program with AT&T Veterans through the sponsorship of our leadership. And it's actually becoming a sought-after resource.
Would you say that the company landscape has changed across the country in the last 5 years or so in terms of a push for hiring veterans?
Well, absolutely. Since the deployment of so many men and women overseas to Iraq, Afghanistan, and other theaters, with the drawdowns that have been going on, a lot more folks are coming home and looking for jobs, and especially here in Michigan. Just phenomenal, where the unemployment rates have outpaced the regular unemployment rates. So there really should be a strong focus, and AT&T has actually done that and pledged as part of Michelle Obama's program. We pledged back in March or April to hire 5,000 new employees within 5 years. Just last week, we doubled that commitment to 10,000 new hires in the next 5 years. So we do feel that other companies can also emulate that commitment and attempt to bring folks back in these last 5 years or so. With the military drawdown, we have a great talent pool that's coming out of the military, and we want to definitely put them to work in our companies.
So then how would you describe the attributes that these veterans have when they're coming into the workforce, and how they would help out a company?
What veterans bring out of the military is an incredible amount of experience, training, leadership, followership, teamwork. And all they need to do is have a clear direction and focus, and they will put their energies around that. They know what it's like to go into a difficult situation, usually very time constrained, and whether it could be in sales or technology, leadership positions within our company, growing teams, they bring a great deal of talent and commitment to doing the mission. And that translates very well in what we do at AT&T, and all other companies can do as well.
What would you say, what advice would you give to a veteran when they're looking for that job interview or looking for that job, how to prepare themselves?
I would say the advice we could also give is AT&T Veterans also has a mentoring program. Reach out to the company's transition program or the military services transition program. Try to find out a little bit more about the company and what they do. And we have a great peer-to-peer program where we have folks who have that experience of making that transition from the military to civilian life and to digital jobs, that we can kind of ease them into that, because there's so much that does not translate directly from the military skills to what you would need in a job, but they're actually all there. We just call them different things. So the best thing for a veteran to do when they're seeking jobs is to try to find that connection one-on-one, and we offer that as our employee resource group in our company as well.
I guess on the flip side of the coin, what advice would you give then to a CEO or a hiring manager when they're looking to hire that veteran?
When they look to hire, just don't look at all the entry-level positions. Look across the spectrum of the talent that's coming in. We have a great number of people coming out of the military who are non-commissioned officers, and our junior officers already have a great deal of experience. And we looked, they're a great resource to bring in as leaders in the company, mid-level managers, as well as experienced technicians, some of whom already have advanced degrees in training. And that translates very well into bringing them into the company at all levels of employment.
All right, David Ritter with AT&T. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.